How did I become a farmer? I was raised on farms. So when I was growing up, it was the tail end of the family farm dairy industry in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And from a very youngest years I can remember, I would help my parents' friends with the haymaking. So we would be helping them bale hay. In high school, I worked on vegetable farms. And so most of my childhood and teenage years I was just surrounded by small family farms. My family lived in town. We were the town kids, but very small towns. And so after high school, I went to college. I felt like I was leaving that farm life behind. I was going off to, pursue my career maybe, or, just seek my adventure in the world. And so the last thing on my mind through my early 20s was farming. And so I ended up doing quite a few things career-wise. Was really not satisfying, or I was always looking for something that I couldn't quite put my hands on, I couldn't quite ever attain. So I knew I wanted to, once we moved to Pennsylvania, I just was inspired by the other small farms in the area. My in-laws had land available, and I really wanted to stay home and live closer to my family. It was very stressful for me to commute to work down these terrible roads and fight the traffic every day. And I'm doing that again now, but at the time I didn't want to do that. So I thought, well, what if I would just grow some vegetables and try to sell it to my neighbors and friends? My wife and I lived in St. Louis for a number of years. And that's when we found out about this program called CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. We had some friends who were participating in that. And we ended up, I think we were just married and didn't have a lot of money. So it was to come up with a chunk of change. It was maybe $500 for the year. And we took our tax refund. I remember taking our tax refund and using that to buy our vegetables for the coming year. And so that was our introduction to the difference between organic farm-raised vegetables and what we could buy at Aldi or whatever grocery store we went to at the time. And so we got a crash course in arugula and kale and turnips and radish, and we had all these fresh vegetables, and the flavor profiles were something that was just a revelation to us. We just didn't know that there could be that much flavor in our food, and that so much of our food was devoid of flavor. And so I think that really led us on this path of, boy, we really need to grow our own food, and we need to be providing it for other people. When I began farming, I wasn't doing it for really ideological reasons. In other words, I didn't fully understand the significance of our organic farm, of the state of our food and our health and the connection there. But I also knew that I wanted to farm organically from the beginning. So I had the sense that there was probably a better way to farm rather than using the chemicals that were recommended. And so from the very beginning, I did farm organically using organic methods. And along the way, certainly developed into a lot more of an understanding of why that was so important. So at Willow Haven Farm, we're committed to growing and providing local organic food to our neighbors, family, friends, for several reasons. First of all, the flavors are so much better when you can get food that's grown locally, harvested and eaten fresh. The food is more nutritious, and really these foods are the foundation of good health. And so many people struggle with their health. Maybe it's their weight, maybe it's prescription drugs or chronic diseases. And the easiest, most accessible way to avoid these things, to build better health, is with this local organic food that is very accessible in this state, actually. So many people I've seen struggle with these things, and it's crippling for not only individuals but families. So after farming for a number of years, the values of a farm really started to become more clear in my mind, and we really developed some things that really became essential for us. First of all, farming makes you very humble. So we're always reminding ourselves of the dependence that we have on each other, on other people, and in our case, we depend on God. And so we just have to keep returning to the fact that producing your own food and running this little farm business is very complicated, that we make mistakes. Sometimes we offend people, or people don't like our products. And so really humility, I would say, has to be one of the top values that we had to develop on the farm. Family is also just, the greatest, the most important thing to us on the farm, I would say, because, it doesn't matter how successful I am as a farmer or a farm, or how many people we feed. If the kids are miserable, if they hate it, if my wife isn't happy with, the things that she's being asked to do. So really everything comes back to trying to develop the relationships on the farm. One of my favorite quotes is that, essentially the farm is more about just producing the crops. It's about developing the people. So we're very concerned about even the people that work on the farm. We want them to be, we want to communicate well with them, that we want them to be in a position where they can thrive as employees, but also as humans. I would say another value on the farm is that we have an idea of stewardship. And so we are always conscious of the things that we have in our life have been given to us as a gift. And we're stewards, not owners. So this property that I'm on has been farmed since approximately 1741. There were many, many generations of people farming this land. And hopefully there'll be people coming along after me. So the things that we've received, the land particularly, we need to keep it in as good of condition as possible, passing it along in better condition than we've received it. So that's all part of our value of stewardship. When people think about Willow Haven Farm, we want certain images to come up in their head. Certainly the image of wholesomeness, health. We want you to think of that when you're connected to our farm, you're connected to something that's helping you with the things that you're struggling with, helping you to achieve your goals. We want you to visit the farm, to be able to know that the food, that the dollars you contribute and the food that you're buying is really contributing to your own community, because of if you're supporting a local farm, it's one more place that's not being developed, that is being farmed with methods that you support. Yeah, it's beautiful to see some of the cornfields and some of the rural areas, but you have to realize that they're getting sprayed with thousands of just untold amounts of chemicals that really is getting into our groundwater system, things that we don't want to be eating. And so when you're supporting Willow Haven Farm, you're making it possible for an alternative to happen, that land can be managed in a different way. We want Willow Haven Farm brand to be a brand that represents hospitality to you, so that you're invited to be a part, maybe in a little way, just be a part of our family. And when you join our email list, for example, you get regular updates, weekly updates from the farm, videos. My wife is going out with her camera, which you can see on YouTube. There's hundreds of videos that show you what life is like on a farm in every weather condition throughout the year. It's very seasonal. And we have events on the farm where we want people to be coming out. So that's all part of when you think of Willow Haven Farm, we want you to think of, yeah, I can go there, I can talk to this person about serious issues, and and I'm welcome. If there was one thing I wish people would understand more about organic farming, is that it's very, very significant for building their health. Organic, I think a lot of people still view it as an option, and if the price point is okay, like maybe I'll go from this particular thing to organic. The organic label, we believe, is essential if anyone is serious about trying to remove toxins from their life, trying to build a healthier life, trying to get off, eliminate chronic diseases. Really, the organic is the foundation of trying to do all those things. And it's a journey, we understand. Certainly, there's a lot of questions about organic, a lot of objections, but it really is the best. It is the best label and the best way for you to build your health. There's chronic diseases going through families, and these are things that really weren't around when I was growing up. Certainly, maybe my grandparents' generation. So this isn't just a business for us; it's the way that we're contributing to help people rediscover the health that they deserve and that they need. We certainly believe that you need other supplements, and we support things like exercise and being outside and things that, sleep, reducing our stress levels. So a lot of things go into health, but foundationally, the most important thing for us that we can do that's accessible to everyone is to increase the amount of organic, local food, especially vegetables and leafy greens. So these things are, health is, all these different things regarding health are related, but food is the foundation, the most important thing, the most accessible. It's the easiest thing for people to change in one sense. I would say that the teaching aspect of farming really energizes me. I love having people come to the farm. Children, young people come, teenagers come. They'll learn something about agriculture, and it inspires people. They think about, wow, I could do this. Maybe not. If it's not my business, maybe I could do this in my home, in my backyard. So I really love the teaching aspect of it. I love people visiting the farm. I remember one year or a couple years we had a whole bunch of emergency room nurses, and in a very high stress environment. They came out and they would come as a group on the same day to volunteer. And unfortunately, I lost track of them. So I'd love to reconnect if anyone ever watches this. But they would come to the farm and they would call it their therapy. It was like group therapy, because they were out in the sun, in nature. Their hands were in the dirt, and really kind of reconnecting with, just getting rid of some of the stress, reconnecting with just basic humanity, which is being together in a field, walking across the ground and growing and harvesting food. So I would say that those are the type of things that stick with me for years and years afterward. I do remember those ladies and appreciate their volunteering. After many years of farming, we developed various different ways of marketing. The standard way, of course, is going to a farmer's market. We sold online. We developed a farm stand type of store on our farm. And because of our location, our farm, like so many in Pennsylvania, it's a very hidden area. There's not a lot of traffic coming down that road. And so during the COVID years, it was, this online shopping exploded for a variety of reasons. But after that kind of tapered, we realized that people still needed a place to come and look at the different products, to speak with the farmer, and to develop a sense of community. So really the driving force behind opening a retail store was continuing to get to know people, speak with them face to face, and to be able to listen to their concerns about their health and their food, and to be able to offer real life solutions. When people come into Willow Haven Farm General Store, we want them to say, wow, this is like nothing we've ever seen before. This is a one-of-a-kind store. We want them to feel welcomed and at home. We want them to take their time and not to rush. Some of the stores that I go into, some of the larger stores, they're trying to keep you moving. They're always trying to get you through the store as quickly as possible. And so we're really, in some senses, trying to give people the opposite experience. So we want them to people to feel that part of the farm hospitality has been just offered to them as a human being. And so we try to greet everyone. We try to ask them if we can help them to find anything. And really, as they come back week after week, we do get to know people's names, and we recognize people and start to develop, conversations with them, the things we remember. We also want people, when they leave the store, to feel like they've taken a significant step to do something this particular day to build their health, that they've purchased something that's going to contribute to bettering their life. One of the very unique things and the things that we offer is that you can come in and you can speak with the employees and even the farmer about the products. And so we read ingredients very thoroughly. We've all studied nutrition, health, and so for those people that are knowledgeable customers and have serious questions, we can kind of point you in the right direction, and we can explain how you can find what you're looking for. The general store, obviously, as a small shop, we're trying to find unique products that are created as local as possible. We're trying to support the small producers. Maybe someone has a home business, a number of farms, and the people doing that are very concerned about quality all the time. They're trying to produce something that is the best possible quality. They're trying not to cut corners, and to give you the healthiest, most nutritious products available. And when you go to a larger store, yeah, they have a lot more options, but you're not going to be able to talk to anyone. There's no one that's going to know anything about these products, which makes you in a very vulnerable position as a consumer. You're subject to whatever little words are on those labels or this brand image that you have in your head. And unfortunately, so many of the labels that are on the products in the grocery stores are not meant to inform you of anything. They're actually meant to confuse you and to convince you that their product is healthy when it's possibly not healthy. So if you see things on these labels, they'll say all natural. For a while, people were trying to avoid high fructose corn syrup. So what the producers did was they just renamed the ingredients. So now it's just corn syrup, or they took out the words high fructose. And so, it's really it's a jungle out there when you're trying to shop and look at these labels and try to understand what they mean. And so at Willow Haven Farm General Store, you have an organic farmer, and that has looked through these products, that seeks out the things that are healthy, safe, the things that I would feed to my children. And that's what you're going to find at our store. I really had an idea in my mind that it would be a place for the community, for the benefit of the community. And there's several different aspects to that. Certainly the educational aspect is helpful for the community. We want to give people a gathering place, so that community groups would be meeting here, which happens almost every week here. We want to give people accessibility, so that the foods that they need, that they would like, that can be available more easily to them. And we'd like to have a place that people can go and feel comfortable meeting people, that relationships will be built between family members, neighbors. We have people keep coming here for birthdays and celebrations, and it's a place that people feel like they can come and talk with each other. Sometimes maybe I've been to restaurants where the music is really loud, and we have a table and we're shouting across. You can't even hear anyone. So we're trying to give people a different experience where they're meeting someone for lunch, and they can feel good about the environment that they're in. We have seasonal vegetables, a large selection of seasonal vegetables, and we're just coming into, this is May, so we're coming into the season where the local vegetables really shine for the next 8 months. We have a good selection of dairy, and we're very particular about our dairy, what kind of dairy, how the cows are being managed, how that milk is being produced. We have frozen meats, pastured meats, beef. There's a large number of pantry items, so you would be able to get some staples, and then a lot of crafts, a lot of gifts, homemade things. So when you're looking for those birthday gifts, graduation gifts, Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversaries, we have a large and growing selection of things like that, where you can find something that's made with care. It's very unique. You're not going to find a lot of other places. Our floral department is growing as we get into the seasonal flowers. Every week we're getting more flowers that we're picking. The flowers are grown by my oldest daughter, who has run Willow Haven Flowers for about 5 or 6 years. And then we're supplementing what she grows with other local producers and other flowers. And boy, what else do we have? There's a lot of things. The cafe, we have a cafe with a growing menu. We started out very small, but that's growing very quickly. A number of drinks that are hard to find anywhere else. There are personal hygiene and cosmetics, especially for those people that are trying to live a less toxic lifestyle and get rid of some of the things that you're using. We have a good selection of alternatives. You might have heard it said that a good way to shop at the big box stores is you shop the perimeter first. And what they're referring to is that on the perimeter of the store is when they have more of the foods that are just single ingredient foods, like your meat, your vegetables, are typically are on the perimeter, your dairy. And so, our store kind of focuses on all of those foods, and we put them all in the middle of the store. So everywhere you go, you're going to be looking at foods that are minimally processed, whole organic ingredients in them. We certainly have some foods that are slightly processed. For example, even pickling or canning things is a process, cutting things up. But in general, the processed foods there's a lot less of them. They're not processed as much. And we think there's a pretty good selection for a little store, but we'd love to have you come in and see what you think. Yeah, so after 6 months of being open at the Willow Haven Farm General Store, we have learned certainly a lot of great lessons. We have a lot of short-term goals. If I had to think about 5 years from now, I see the store as a place where there's groups of people meeting at the store weekly. There would be events happening where people would come and be speaking with each other about health topics that are concerning to them. We want to be a gathering place, a source of education. Obviously, we're going to continue to provide healthy foods, but we want people to begin with the food and then continue to take steps toward how can I help my family to be healthier? How can I tell this to my friends? How can I speak with other people in the community? And maybe there's some principles that we can all learn together that will improve not only the health and life of my household, but of my neighbors. We have a great customer base. We love our customers. We have great customers. Many of them have supported us for a long time. We've watched young mothers, have babies, raise their babies, watch the kids go off to college. So it's one of the rewards of doing this for a long time. And we've watched those customers go through just incredible health journeys. So some of our key customers are those people that have had a chronic disease and have had significant health problems that they've discovered. Maybe some of the root causes were in their food system and the food that they were eating. They've changed their diet. and they've seen just radical changes in their lives and in their health. And those are the customers that keep coming back because they know how important it is. I remember families that have struggled with food dyes in their food and got rid of the food dyes early on. There's families that obviously a lot of people are trying to get rid of genetically modified ingredients and glyphosate. A lot of people are cutting sugar and carbs. And we make it possible for people to do that, to get a consistent supply and source for their food, and to help them achieve their goals that they're trying to achieve as people. We get a lot of customers coming to our store and asking and telling us that they're trying to reduce the amount of carbohydrates. And one of the problems with carbohydrates in our food system is that, well, first of all, we eat too many of them. And these carbohydrates are converted very quickly into sugar in your bloodstream. So particularly the simple carbohydrates that we're eating without any fats alongside of them. So certainly we agree with most people that are trying to do this. We also, eventually people realize that that carbohydrates aren't all necessarily unhealthy, that we do need them in our, they can be a part of a healthy diet. And all carbohydrates are not created equally. So when people are looking for healthy carbohydrates, we have some things that we definitely recommend over others. And I would say we start by recommending that loaf of sourdough bread made with organic Pennsylvania flour and with butter on. And one of the reasons why that's a healthy option for people is that, first of all, it's organic, there's no chemicals in it, and the sourdough process itself is changing the nature of those carbohydrates. You can think of it as a pre-digestive phase of that carbohydrate, in which that gluten is being broken down a little bit into a more digestible state. Over the years, I've made sourdough brick oven bread for about 15 years. And there have been dozens and dozens of people that have come up to me and said, I tried your bread for the first time, and carbohydrates and gluten has been bothering me for years, but with this particular sourdough bread, I don't have the digestive issues, I don't have the bloating. And again, this happens over and over and over. People realize that the carbohydrates they're eating are causing some of these digestive issues. And by reducing the amount of those carbohydrates and switching to sourdough bread is really one of the easiest things, one of the first things they can do to discover a way to enjoy carbohydrates in a better way. A lot of the customers that we have are searching for an organic farm for particular reasons. Many of them are going through health challenges. And by health challenges, it could be any number of things, but the people are trying to make a change in their life. They're trying to do something different. And like our sign says, they're realizing, I have to eat different. I can't keep doing the same thing that I've been doing and expect a different result. I'm just going to get heavier, or I'm going to have more prescription drugs that I have to take. People come because they're pre-diabetic, or maybe there's some other health issue, or maybe they're already committed to organic food and they're looking for an organic producer. So we love to hear people's stories. It's one of the most interesting and rewarding things that I do is just listening to where people are coming from and how the struggles they've had to make a change, and then what's different for them on the other side. And like I said, we've had dozens of people that have come and really found out that by changing their diet, their quality of life improved greatly. I do come across a lot of people that think of themselves as generally healthy. Unfortunately, we live in a very toxic world. There are literally thousands of chemicals, both in and out of our food, that we're exposed to every day. So, I understand people have it in their heads that, okay, I'm doing okay right now. Typically that tends to be younger people. Once you get to be my age or older, you kind of realize that there's something going on here that's not quite right. To those people, I guess I would say, you're much better off switching to organic food right now before some of these significant health issues show up. You have to think about yourself, but you also have to think about the people that depend on you, that are going to be relying on you. Maybe you're a parent, or maybe you're a spouse, or maybe you need to be around to take care of your aging parents. Once you lose your health, there's so many things that you no longer have to contribute to the world. Your energy levels go down. So you owe it to yourself to do whatever you can for your health, but you also owe it to the people that are depending upon you. One of the great things about switching to organic food in your diet is that you feel better more of the time. Digestive issues tend to go down, and a lot of people think, well, I eat organic for over half the time, and then I deserve this fast food sandwich or whatever. And what happens, your health kind of crashes and you don't feel good for a couple days. And, really your body's a lot happier if you maintain the diet that you're trying to achieve and stay healthy throughout the week. And we're all going to go through we all have compromise foods, right? I really don't think I should be eating this, but for whatever reason, the work took me out to this restaurant, or I'm at my brother's house, and that's what they made and put on the table, and you have to eat it. But just trying to minimize those situations, slowly, respectfully trying to educate the people around you, really makes a big difference in your health long term. We have so many great customers, and sometimes they come in and say, what can I do? What do you need? How can I help with Willow Haven Farm? And we usually give them 2 or 3 options. We do take volunteers on the farm and in the general store. So, if people are in a particular situation and they have free time and would like to just contribute and learn something about farming, always reach out to us, and that's certainly an option. We always appreciate it. On a small farm, there's always more work than we can pay for. So we're working, every hour of the day, and our kids are contributing, and the employees of the farm, but we never get it all done. There's always something else. Mechanical work, repairs never end. The second thing that we really need is that just sharing our farm information with other people. And right now, we've been stretched pretty thin as we started a general store and a farm. So I'm running both operations. And the more people that know what we're trying to do, what the vision is, we're searching for those people that would like to support a local organic farm. And maybe they're new to the area. Maybe they're still trying to figure out what options are available. Taking our cards, sharing our Facebook posts, sending our emails. And another thing people can do to help Willow Haven Farm is share the information with your workplace. We're in half a dozen workplaces where we've built partnerships. We come in, we talk about a particular food or farming topic that people are interested in, and your workplace can get set up as a drop site. In other words, you could place online orders, and the box of organic food would come directly to your workplace. And we're trying to create other opportunities, other ways to get more organic food into your place of work. So, speak with your HR representatives or the owner of the business, and we're happy to have a conversation with those businesses.